What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Thank you all for being here. We are back with another non-sports night because we still don't have sports to talk about. But Steve is, it's a tale of two places because Steve, my friend, is in the nice sun, 90 degrees, beautiful outside. Gorgeous. And I'm here where we have tornado warnings right now. And usually it's vice versa.
Yeah, you would think I'm in Florida right now and you're not, so...
That's exactly right. But nope, tonight we are going to talk about a really cool topic. We're going to talk about, as everyone knows, this week, Universal Studios opened back up. And we're going to kind of grade them a little bit. We're going to look at what they've been doing all week. I've witnessed it firsthand. I've been there. Steve's been reading about it, been seeing things as well. We're going to kind of grade them on how they've done this week. And then we're going to talk about whether or not Disney is going to take from what they've seen, learn from this. Mistakes and not mistakes, and see if maybe this might be stuff that Disney incorporates in. But before we get started, I really want to say thank you to my partner channel right over here. This guy, Steve. Steve's World. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. We missed you last week.
I know, man. It was a rough week. But having fun now. We're here and having a great time. Always honored to be here with you, as always. So, hi, everybody.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're here too, man. We did miss you. Well, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Brian Eisenhart, one of our members, is here. Another member, James Ryan, is in the house. What's up, guys? Captain Akron 27, Make It Blue at Disney Adventure. Be sure to check out Caitlin's channel. She's got a nice channel. Just starting out. Let's show her some love. Christine Hickman's in the house. It's Joey's World. Lisa, Keith, and Joey are here. Good to see you guys. Carlos, Disney World Freak, is here. Carlos, the franchise killer. He filled in last week admirably. We had a lot of fun, though. Candy Mom 15, Cynthia is here, another one of our members, our first member, by the way. Cynthia, good to see you. Meg from Mickey's Magic is here. What's up, Meg? Good to see you. Big Disney fan is here. Big Noah Mountain 5. Noah, what's up, buddy? Ron and Meredith of the Philly Crew, another one of our members, is here. Good to see you guys. Well, we got a lot of people in here. Emily Ellis, you mom is here. Let's see who else we got. Michelle the Quilter, Tim Pruitt, Donna Anderson Folan, Samantha Lowe, Alex Brenner. Wow, good to see you guys. Thank you all for being here. I think we're caught up, Steve. It's going to jump. I know. It's Rob Fuzz is in the house.
What's
up, Rob? It always jumps. What's up, Rob? Rob Fuzz is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. And yep, it did. Darn, just as I said it jumped, Steve. I'm sorry, buddy. Avery, the Cuban American. Let's see who else we got. Kay Atwood's in the house. Gosh darn, this thing keeps jumping. Pete McDevitt. Pete says hello. Good to see everyone. Not typing too much. The arm is hurting. No problem, buddy. Don't even worry about it. I'm just glad you're here. Good to see you. And yep. Steve, I think we're up to date, bud.
Awesome.
But yep. All right. So let's see. We are. Yep, we're up to date. No, yeah, we said hi to Donna. But
maybe later,
guys,
Meg. Maybe later.
What'd she say? I didn't see her.
She wants to see my friends, and I said maybe later.
Cool. But we are. Yep, we're going to talk a little bit about it. So as everybody knows, this week Universal opened back up to the public. The first 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, were cast members. Wednesday and Thursday were to the previews. These were previews for annual pass holders. Friday and today, puppy! What's the puppy's name?
Benny.
Benny.
Say hi.
Is he a good dog?
Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, he's a real good dog.
Everybody say hi to Benny.
Hi.
How old is he?
1.
Oh,
1. He's a big 1-year-old. Yeah, he's a huge dog.
Oh my God! What kind of dog is he?
Some kind of poodle and Labrador, I think.
Oh wow!
I'm not sure.
Is he a Labradoodle?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's poofy.
Yep, He's probably a Labradoodle. He's cute. Oh my gosh! He's only a year old. He's really big.
I told him. I said, "Hey guys, I'm going to the backyard to stream for an hour," and they let the dog out with me.
They did that on purpose to mess you up. That's what they
most likely.
That's what that is. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But so Universal, of course, opened up Friday. Yesterday was the first day they opened to the public, and today they also opened to the public. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, what we saw, what we've seen. I actually was there firsthand today, so I got to witness, to the public what they're doing, what they're not doing as well, in reference to everything when it comes to all the different social distancing, sanitation, cleaning, this, that, and the other. Oh my gosh, Pete McDevitt, $4.99. Thank you so much for that super chat, buddy. He says, I'll pay good money to see Steve friends again. Send a link when it happens to me and Meg.
Not here tonight. Not on this stream, guys. Sorry.
Gee, Wilson.
We got stuff to talk about.
Connie Crab, welcome in. She says, hi there. We're new to your channel. We found you from being on that crazy Disney lady the other night. Well, Connie, thank you for being here. We definitely appreciate it. Saturdays is more, normally we do sports night on Saturday. It's kind of our off-topic thing, but with no sports going on, we kind of make it Disney and Universal centric. So we're glad you're here. Thank you for being here.
We always try to add some sense of Disney anyways, even when we do talk about sports.
Yes, we absolutely do. And thank you for being here. We definitely appreciate it. And yes, Tim Pruitt, good to see you too, buddy. But Universal. So, Steve, I don't know what you've seen so far. What have you seen? I don't know if you've watched any of the vlogs, but what have you seen so far?
So I'm trying to stay away from the blogs, but what I've been trying to do is I'm actually trying to watch. I've been really studying up on the measures that they're supposed to have in place, and I don't know. I think that the temperature checks are a big deal, which I don't know how that's going to work. I just know they're doing them. I know you probably experienced everything firsthand today, but with the temperature checks and the distancing, which Disney I think is going to go far above and beyond what Universal is going to do, but at the same time, I think Disney's going to wait and learn from their mistakes and see what they did. So I'm not sure how it worked. I was curious to see how it's going to work with staying 6 feet apart, but I mean, well, I guess we'll get to hear from you saying exactly what it was.
Yep. Saria Myers, welcome in, another one of our members. Saria, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. So I went today. Melissa and I and Mason, we all three went today to Universal, and we got to experience everything firsthand. I'm going to start. We'll save the obvious stuff for in a minute. I'm going to start with the characters, because for me, I'm a big character meet and greet kind of person. I love the characters personally. I like the interaction. I like being able to meet them. It's just part of what I like. Steve, are you not really a character person? Are you? Do you like the characters?
No, I am a character
you
person.
are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I like it. I like it, the pictures, like it, the autographs. I built the autograph books for both YouTubers and characters. So yeah, I love meeting the characters.
Well,
I think there's some of the best cast members that they have are the ones that can act out the parts and do them well.
Yeah, I agree. Pete, real fast, Pete says there are a ton of great people in this chat right now. So many names that bring up good memories. Please take and share out Walt's channel on all your social media platforms. He's got great. Thanks, Pete. I appreciate that, buddy. So does Steve. Please shout out Steve's channel as well. Thank you for that, bud. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But I'll say this about the characters, Steve. They're actually out.
Oh, really?
Yes, we saw several characters. Shrek was out. Donkey was out from Shrek, of course. They were out. Scooby-Doo, the characters were out. Beetlejuice was out. I got my picture taken with Beetlejuice. Now it was social distancing picture taking, though, Steve.
That's
I'll say that.
You're not allowed to go up and hug the characters. You're not allowed to interact with them.
No.
You got to stay. It's 6 feet apart too, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. But the interaction, it was close. 6 feet is close enough that you can still have a conversation. With the characters.
And how
awesome.
How did they create that though? Did they put a barrier up, or did they put like were there lines up that just said "Don't cross this line"?
Gotcha. Good question. Real fast, Andy J, welcome in. Andy J and Amy AGC Magic TV, welcome in as well. They put up barriers. So when I went up to see Beetlejuice, they had barriers there, like fences. You know, those fences that kind of come up to your stomach, right there. They had those up, and he would come probably about 2 feet from the fence, and so he was still far enough away, and Beetlejuice was not wearing a mask, which I thought was interesting. But he was fantastic. We had a conversation with him. I was talking to him, just me, and Melissa walked up and he goes, "What's her problem?" He goes, "What do you want? Are you hungry?" He goes, here's a banana." He asked me, he goes, "Is she bothering you?"
Wow.
He was so funny. We were laughing so hard. And I said, "No, she's with me." He goes, "Are you sure? We'll take care of her."
Blink twice. Blink twice if you're under distress.
Yeah, exactly. But he was great. The Scooby-Doo characters were in the same place. But what's funny is, Steve, they wore masks. And
really?
I think the reason why Beetlejuice didn't is because he's technically dead.
It's True. That's a good point. That's a real good point.
Is
it because of when you say they wore masks? Is that only the face characters, or is that the ones in full body costume and head suit?
Face characters only. Face characters only. Like Shrek was out. Shrek didn't have on a mask. Donkey's more of like a think Turtle Talk with Crush. You see Donkey's face, and he'll talk to you. He'll literally talk to you. You'll say something to him, and he'll answer. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool meet and greet, but you can't get really close. You can't go right up to him. And the same with Shrek. Shrek was behind a barrier, but you could still see him, and he could still interact. We waved to him, and he waved to us. So the characters are still out, which I thought was cool, but they did a really good job of making sure they were social distance.
Good. And I think that's going to be the hardest part for a lot of people, because one of the biggest things right now for everybody, I know it is for me, is that character interaction is you just want to run up and hug your favorite character. And
yes.
You just want to interact with them. I mean, the little kids get to hug Minnie Mouse. In this case, it's Universal. But you get to hug those characters and see them. And some of them are really funny, like Jack Sparrow when he's there. And I've never seen Beetlejuice out and about, but I'm assuming that he is really funny as well. And it's just that interaction now being restricted is it's probably it's a weird experience, but at the very least though, we get to see them, we get to interact with them, we get to go to the parks. I'm willing to do whatever restrictions that are necessary to keep not only them but ourselves safe, and for just being able to get to experience it in some fashion is better than not experiencing it at all.
I agree 100%. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about not being able to go up to them and hugging them and taking a picture with them. It was okay. It was different. There was a different feel to it, but you know what? It was okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think you're right. Something's better than nothing. Michelle the Quilter asked me, did Donkey have on a mask? He didn't today. She said she saw him in another stream where he did. He didn't with us, though. He didn't, but I thought that was interesting. But because of the rain, there weren't a ton of characters out. Like we were waiting to meet. We wanted to meet Optimus Prime or Megatron for the Transformers, but in the rain they don't come out. So I think that hurt us.
Now, yeah, I got to be completely honest. I've never watched an actual vlog about Universal, but that part of that is because when I go for the first time, I want to experience everything fresh and new.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it didn't even cross my mind that they would have characters out.
Yeah, they do. They really do. They'll have the Trolls out. They'll have like Marilyn Monroe will come out. Betty Boop will come out. They'll have tons of characters out. The Minions will come out. Doc Brown from Back to the Future comes out. Homer Simpson and Bart come out. They really do have a lot. Tina McNeil, welcome in. Good to see you. So just talking about the characters, I thought they did a really good job. And I think Disney will take from this. Now, Disney normally has a ton of characters. You know, Steve, they do. They have a ton of character meet and greets all over their parks.
Yeah.
What I'm going to be interested in, I want your take on this, on just characters for right now. Princess Fairy Tale Hall. You have 1, 2, 3 princesses right next to each other.
Yep.
What do you think happens there? What do you see Disney doing there? Do they shut it down, or?
So I think they learn from it. I think Disney's the leader in this organization in this atmosphere that we're getting ready to experience. But I do think they're using other people as test markets. One of the reasons why I think that they're not opening as early as they could. But I actually could see Disney figuring a way to do it where they don't shut down anything. All the characters will be out and about. And one of the ways that they could definitely do that is, you could still do your barricades and put up temporary or permanent walls. They may change. This could also lead into completely new aspects of how they do character meet and greets, but they could definitely build some sort of kind of like a wall. They used to do it over at Epcot, at the character spot where they had Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy, I think, all in a row, and you had to go around the little wall to get to the next one.
Yeah.
So they could kind of do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like, I hate to say this, but like Walmart's doing, where they put the gate out front and then they have the gate for the in and the out separated. You could have your princess on one side and then your guests go in and around the gate to the other side, take your pictures, and then they, to where the barricade's low enough to where it could stay out of the pictures, but still keep people at the appropriate distance that they're supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I do think Disney will learn from this. I think they'll actually take a page from this, because I think part of the whole experience is seeing characters, and taking characters away 100% is really going to be a bummer. So I think, like you said earlier, I think you hit the nail on the head. Any capacity of having the characters is all I need at this point. Do I want it to get back to where we get to hug them again? Absolutely. Who doesn't want to hug Mickey Mouse? But we'll take what we can get for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Now, I will say, moving on from there, I want to talk about the social distancing aspect of it when it comes to queues, okay, and lines and stuff like that. So we'll start with how they're working Fast Pass over there, or they call it Express Pass.
Okay.
They still actually do have Express Pass. They
Really?
do allow for that. They do. At least I heard some people talking about it. We don't have it. But I heard people saying, I heard him say to somebody, "Do you have Express Pass?" And but I wasn't really paying attention. So they do have it. But what happens is, I can't pull it up on the app now. But when you first get into the park, Steve, you go into the app, and depending upon which park you're in, it's kind of like Disney. You got to be in the park before you can do anything.
Yeah.
When you go into the wait times, they have something called virtual queues right now. Same thing you get for Rise of the Resistance. But you get to pick your time.
Really?
It's not first come. It's whatever's available. So their queue times will say, and their queues are usually 30 to 40 minutes. So it'll be from like 11 to 11:30, 12 to 12:30, 1 to 1:30, 1:30 to 2, 2:30 to 3, and you come back and you show them, and they'll scan it because it'll have a scan code right there, and boom, you go right in, and it's really, really cool. But it's only for the really popular rides.
And I see Disney's put out a thing that said they're not going to do them at all until September of 2021 minimum. So that, I mean, I don't know if anybody fathomed that. That's a year and a half from now. So we will not have fast passes at Disney, according to them, for a year and a half. So that's interesting, though. I mean, when you talk, so they have the Express Pass, which I don't understand why Disney's getting rid of the fast passes, because you can still do the system. You just have to reduce the number. How many ever people you reduce by, if your capacity has been reduced to 50, you reduce the fast pass availability down to 50%, and then you still can have the fast pass line where you have the different. You can still make the markers 6 feet, and that's my next question to you was going to be when we talk about the queues is how did they? From what I gather, if you were standing in line with everybody, you're going to be approximately 3 people in a 6-foot space, so you're really cutting the crowd lines down by 2/3. So how did that work? Was it just your typical marks on the ground where they looked for people to stop by themselves, or to social distance by themselves, or did that not? Sorry about the dogs if you hear them barking.
No, that's fine.
Somebody's driving by on a bicycle. So, did people hold to that? I mean, is it up to the people to stay on those lines, or how does that work?
Good question. It really depended on the queue. We went on a lot of rides today, and all of them, you have to go through the queue to get there. All of them had markers on the ground. Now, in certain areas of the queue, you might have had a person there, but it wasn't all the time. It was basically an honor system in a lot of ways where you had to adhere to it on your own. They didn't have somebody looking out to say, hey, you're not in the right spot like every 5 feet or something. They didn't have that. But people were really good with it. They really were good with it, Steve. People did a really good job, especially on the ones that have the longer queues. Like we went on Kong. We went on Harry Potter, The Forbidden Journey, which is like you go through all through Hogwarts, and that's a huge queue. And that had markings on the ground all throughout. And people were really good. Now, that being said, it was a rainy day. It was only the second day the park was open. There were not a lot of people there. So as the numbers grow, we'll see.
What was the capacity like? So what are they at, 50% as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're at like 50%.
You've never been to Universal before that, though, had you?
Yeah, I've been there before.
So what was the crowd level like? Did you experience what you felt was less than 50%, or did you think it was about 50%?
No, it felt like it was less than 50% to me. Every single ride we went on today, except for one, was basically a walk-on. We're lucky if we waited 5 minutes. Everything. We did Forbidden Journey, which is a hugely popular ride. We did Kong. We did Men in Black. We did Simpsons. We did Transformers. We did Jimmy Fallon. most of them were all simulators. I think they were all simulators. We didn't do Hagrid's because Mason wouldn't do it with me, and Melissa wasn't going. I didn't want to go alone. I wanted somebody to go with me.
Yeah, I don't. So, I just read Pete's comment about Walmart too. That's funny.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he said, "See, look, thinking outside the box." But overall, Steve, no, I don't think they were at 50% capacity. And this morning, we got there early before the parks opened, and the lines, people were really good staying on the blue markers.
That's awesome. Well, for the most part, I think people are good, and they're going to do what they need to do anyways. But you are going to have your occasional people. I think that's going to happen more to when the crowds open up a little bigger. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have your people that look. I think people, especially now, know that it's a privilege to be able to go and to be able to do. And when you had it, when you have it nonstop, you take it for granted. Mm-hmm. But when it's taken away from you, I think you respect it a little more. Mm-hmm. And I think for the most part, at least for now, people are going to respect the fact that, the 6-foot rules and things like that. And I mean, obviously with the whole possibility of, hey, I don't want to, catch the virus for anybody. I think people for now are going to respect that. I think it may get a little worse as time goes on.
Gotcha. Oh, I agree. I think once the numbers go up, it makes policing it a lot harder to do, for sure. I agree 100%. But overall, I think people did a really good job of really maintaining that. Another area, Steve, where it was seen to do really, really well were at restaurants. For instance, we ate at Mel's Diner, which mm-hmm. is kind of a 50s throwback place. Literally, everything was you had to mobile order it, but you could wait in line. So if you wanted to sit inside, you'd have to wait every 6 feet. They'd have a marker outside. You'd come up to the front. When you got close enough, she'd say, "Okay, go ahead and hit make the order now. That way, when you get inside, you'll get your food." So they were really organized with that. They had people throughout waiting. They had somebody outside walking the line saying, "Do you need any help? Please stay 6 feet apart." And you know what else they did really well, Steve?
What's that?
People would wear their masks and they would bring it down below their nose. They would walk up to them and say, "You need to cover your nose."
Good. Very good.
I saw that a lot today. They actually said it once to Mason because Mason was having trouble. He said, "I need to breathe for a minute." And the woman came over and said, "Sir, if you could, I need you to put that above your head. You're not drinking or eating." And he put it back over. Yep. So
now when you go to eat, though, they don't make you like hang it down right your chin, right? They let you take them off.
Let you take it once you sit down. Once you're seated, yes, you could take it off. And again, every other booth or every other table was empty.
The masks, I mean, here obviously we're not forced to wear masks when we're out in public. Only one store makes you wear a mask, and they give them to you if you walk in. But so here, I can imagine the dining down there works similar to what it is up here. Tables are spaced out, or they're marked, "This table's not in use right now," or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then people generally, like I said, I generally believe in the good of people, and they are going to follow the rules the way they need to be. And people have been taking precautions. I went out and ate at a restaurant last night just for something different, and mm-hmm. it was a nice experience. We I had no problems, no issues. Obviously, the waiters and waitresses are very happy to be back to work.
Yes,
and and that's one of the reasons why I like going out and supporting them, because they've been hurting lately. So
sure.
I don't know. I think generally around the board, people are going to do what they need to do and be good. So I'm glad to hear that they're doing well.
Yep, I agree. Tina said, and by the way, Tina McNeil, one of our members, is in here. Tina, good to see you. Tina says, "I actually think it'll get better as time goes on. People are getting used to it. I hate it, but I don't even think about going out without my mask now." I get that. I understand that. T. Marie Photography, another one of our members. Welcome in, Tina. Good to see you. I don't know about you, Steve. I will say this when it comes to the mask, walking around all day long with that mask on.
Yeah.
In the humidity and the heat of Florida.
Yeah.
It will be a challenge. There's an obstacle there. But again, they have areas at Universal that's called rest areas. Rest areas where you can go in and you can take your mask off. Now, I don't know if they limit how many can be in there at a time, because what if 25 people want to go in there and take their mask off.
There's usually a capacity limit with that kind of thing, especially here anyways. So I can see them saying, okay, whatever, how big, it depends on the space. I think what they do is they use the square footage, knowing that you can keep only people 6 feet in, only 6 feet apart. Then they say, okay, we can comfortably put this many people in this space and maintain that distance, and then that's what becomes their new capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they'll do that. I think they had 3 areas there where you could do the you rest area. But other than that, and very few people were using it, which I thought was interesting. Maybe it was because it wasn't that hot of a day and it was raining and people didn't have to. But every chance I got to take my mask off, sure. Oh, there's puppy dog.
He's just like chilling with me. So, but yeah, so I think. What's that? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go please.
I think that, like I said, I think that obviously they're experts on this stuff, or they've dealt with experts on this stuff. They're not going to let them reopen because a theme park would be the number one spot to try for people to interact with each other and not social distance. So they're not going to do it without precautions. I still think Disney's going to lead the way in amongst all industries and do what they got to do. And I think they're going to go above and beyond what Universal's doing. But I'm happy. At least we get to. I know people are upset with the mask. I'm okay with anything that allows me to experience it in some capacity.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm okay with it. I mean, I have to do the mask. I agree with you. I'm going to do what I got to do to get into that park. But that being said, it's not going to be easy peasy. It's a challenge. I mean, you imagine being down there in 95, 98 degree weather, humidity at 75%, and you're walking around. There's going to be, some times where you might have a chance. Andy J says, such a cute dog. Is he yours, Steve?
Nope, that's my buddy's. I got one of my best friends here for almost 20 years now. It's his dog, so I'm at his house just chilling out in his backyard.
Gotcha. But no, it was good overall. And some people don't like the mask. Some people do, but you got to follow the rules. If the rules say you're going to wear the mask, you're going to wear the mask. It's that simple. And they were very nice.
And the nice thing about it too is, this is what's going to baffle me is, obviously those of us that have Spreadshirt have now can have masks made with our logos on them. I've ordered mine with both my logos and everything on it. But then I got to thinking about it, and now I'm kind of curious. 2 things. They make the really thin masks that come in bulk boxes that have, you pull them apart. They're just like blue or beige or whatever, and they're really thin. You put them over. Then they make these big cotton masks that I think Spreadshirt the kind are. So number one, if you're riding rides with a mask on, will the flimsy one fly off? That's the first question. Second question is it too hot for the cotton ones that the more durable ones? And how do you ensure that some of those masks stay on when you're riding a high speed or a thrill ride, something like that?
Well, I can't answer that question because if there's one thing I will say is the only ride I got on that in any way, shape, or form had a lot of motion was the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Because that's the one that kind of goes like this and goes up and around and stuff like that. But you're not at a high speed. You're just twisting and turning a lot. That one, the mask was fine. There was no issue there.
But so what if you wanted to ride, Slinky Dog or Tower of Terror going up and down creates wind, Test Track, any of those things, And then on top of that, my other concern is with the flimsy masks, is the wind going to force it back into your mouth and make it harder to breathe on some of those? But again, I'm all in favor of them wearing masks. I'm not saying that, but I think the more durable ones are going to be the way to go, but they're also going to be the harder ones to wear in the heat.
Right. So Tim Pruitt says, okay, here goes. I'm mad about the mask discussion. Why should I have to be the one to stay home because others refuse to wear a mask? If I catch COVID, I'm probably, dead. I'll say this, Tim, you don't have to stay home because if you don't take a mask to the park, you ain't getting in. So you don't have to worry about that. Everybody that's at the parks has a mask. And they have people walking around and watching to make sure people are wearing the mask.
Let's reiterate the point too. The point of wearing a mask is not to protect you from other people. It doesn't work that way. The point of wearing a mask is to protect other people from your breathlets, droplets, and things like that. So, of course, nobody's supposed to be getting in with that has a fever or has any of the symptoms. But the points of the mask are not to protect you from other people. 100%. It's just to help protect anything you may have, whether you show symptoms or don't, or know you have it or don't. It's to protect other people from you. So the mask is not going to be there. It's a PPE for other people. It's not there for you.
Right. Joey Joel says we have the ones like Walt, the cotton, the gator ones, and the disposable ones. And the disposable are the easiest with the heat and humidity. So there you go. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of layers to those masks, so it's definitely can be difficult. Tim says it isn't an assault on anyone's rights. It's simply everyone caring for everyone so as not to spread this virus. Well, look, Tim, we could get into the whole rights thing. There is certain rights that there are assaults on our rights that are with this entire thing. When they tell you you can't go to church, or you can't go to work, or you can't do this, you can't do that, they're all kind of assaults on your rights. But I think
they're necessary. I think they're necessary ones, though.
Well, that's fine, and I agree, and that's just what I was about to say. But we do what we have to do. But they are. I mean, technically, they all are. I mean, but what are you going to do?
We get a lot of freedoms and we get a lot of rights that we're blessed to live in a country that allows that to happen. And if we have to be inconvenienced for 6 to 8 months to go, but knowing that we're going back to our freedoms and our rights, I'm okay with that, just to keep everyone safe. So, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with Disney making us wear masks, or Universal. They're taking as many precautions as possible to help spread anything.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Tim says, I know Walt, but that's the argument everyone has. They don't feel like they should be made to wear it. I know the parks are requiring it so far. I understand that. Well, that's the thing. I don't like the fact that I don't want to be made to wear a mask. I don't. But ultimately, I'll do it. I'll do it. I mean, everybody has a right to be upset. If they want to be upset and they don't like the rule, that's fine. But it's what they do with it after that. We can get into that whole thing. I don't want to get into all that, but it is what it is. I mean, we either follow it or we don't. And if you don't, you're not going to go to the park.
Yep.
Whether you want to go or not.
Absolutely.
Jane says, well, whenever you go, let me know. I am bound and determined to buy you and your husband a drink. And thank you for 1,000 laughs, Tina. Tina's awesome. Community doing what is right for the greater good. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, but I mean, at some point, we've got to move forward. I mean, people got to, well, we've said this a million times on stream. I know I have. People got to get back to work. That's why they're opening things up.
Yep. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. I said all along too, we've never experienced anything like this in our lifetimes or in the previous lifetimes before us. But I think the last pandemic was in 1908. We know things, or 1920, which things have changed since then. Whatever it was, I mean, we got new technology, we got new everything. So it's not something you can actually prepare for. So shutting down everything, in my opinion, was the right move to do, including Disney, until we knew exactly what we were dealing with and we opened it back up. Now, I think knowing how things worked and seeing how Walmart did things and the Walgreens and the people that were allowed to stay open that were there for us to get our stuff, they did things the right way. Every business, in my opinion, could be open that way and could have opened earlier that way as long as we follow the same guidelines. Problem is now we got to depend on everybody to follow the same guidelines.
Yeah. Well, again, we've said that a million times, and I don't want to get into that too much. No system is perfect. I don't care what you do. Nobody's going to be. You're not going to get 100% cooperation in anything. The only thing we can all do 100% and cooperate is die. Ultimately, that's the one thing we're all going to do. Yep. We don't have a choice. You're not going to get 100% cooperation, period, with anything. So there's really not much we can do about that. But you hope the masses. That's all you can do. That's ultimately all you can do.
All we can do is our own part to help everybody.
Exactly. Andrea Houston, welcome in another one of our members. Andrea, great to see you. Thanks for being here. But I did want to move on to the rides themselves, Steve, and the sanitation and the cleanliness. And were they wiping things down? Were they giving this, that, and the other when it comes to different things? Here's what I'll say. I hate to say it, but they did a really good job. They did.
Why do you hate to say that?
Because I was surprised. I think Disney's got a lot to learn from what Universal's done so far, and I think that's part of the reason. I mean, they're a lot bigger than Universal. Don't get me
Well,
wrong.
I do, but I think also I think they're learning from each other. Look, they're going to share information because at the same point in time,
Oh yeah,
again, we're in an unprecedented time, and as willing as Disney has been to give people things during this time and to help, throw things on Disney Plus early and to put people ahead of a dollar, I have no problem. I have no doubt in my mind that they're helping Universal, saying, look, you should do this, or this is our plan. We should work on this together in some aspects. So, I mean, Disney laid out their plan before Universal opened. I'm sure they've learned from each other both to make sure people are safe no matter what they want to do.
It's funny. It's funny our different takes on that, because I think Disney releases things early on Disney Plus to make money, because then they're hoping they'll get more subscribers because they released this movie out early, and maybe somebody will sign up for a subscription because they need.
And that may happen too, but at the same time, I mean, it's like $6 a month. I mean, they're not charging
$6 times 100 by a million people.
No. I completely get that, but it's not. It's like they're not. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're doing it to be greedy, or to make. I mean, they might be. Yeah, they might get a couple subscribers out of it, but I mean, they're not doing. If they were that greedy about money or whatever, they would have opened up stuff a long time ago. They would raise their prices. They would have done a lot of stuff already, and they've done a lot of charity work as well.
Oh, sure.
And that I'm happy the way things have gone under the circumstances.
I got you. That makes sense. I will say this: Universal, from what I saw, Universal did a really good job. Every time you got in, before you got on every single ride, somebody was standing there with hand sanitizer, and they sprayed your hand before you got on the ride. So you had every single ride, Steve, every single ride. One person was standing there, would pump it, and you put it on, and you wipe your hands. Then you got on the ride. Yes, it was.
I don't know if that was obviously. I don't know all of Disney's plans, but I would fully expect them to do the same thing. That is a brilliant. That is a way to obviously kill stuff before you actually touch the rides. Then it helps. It would help with the cleaning process itself.
Yep. Now let's say you had a ride that was 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. My row was filled with me, Melissa, and Mason. Yep. Empty row. Next row. Empty row. That's how they did it. If you had really long, seating, it would be me, Melissa, Mason, empty, 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 next group. They would do 3 seats in between. So they did a really good job. And when I got off a ride, I looked back. They had somebody waiting there, and that person got on and wiped it down.
Good.
They did. Because I looked to see. I wanted to see how they were going to do, and they did. They wiped it down. Now.
Well, that's the way it should be.
Oh, it should. Now, here's where some of it was lacking. We were waiting to get on the Simpsons ride. And on the Simpsons ride, you got to go through this queue. In this one area, you kind of go around a corner and up a ramp.
With handrail?
It's a handrail. Never saw a person. How many people do you think were touching that handrail?
A bunch, for sure. Yeah. Everybody. It's by code. You're supposed to use it.
Yeah. And I would sit down. I would sit down on a bench. As soon as I sat down, I got up. Somebody else sat right down on that bench.
You know what, though? I look at that and I think, okay, first off, I think there's some part of self-responsibility here to I'm not saying not to use the ramp, but not to touch your face or anything when you're doing that, because if you think about it, somebody could go up and down and wipe that thing, and then you're only going to move 2 stairs, you're going to touch it again. And then somebody has to wipe it again. I bet they wipe it down every 15 minutes or so. But it would be impossible. It'd be near impossible to keep it consistently wiped down.
100% agree. And that's that's ultimately what I'm getting at is for everybody is no system is perfect. They can't wipe every single inch of every single railing every single time every 5 seconds. It's just not going to happen. Streaming. Hello, Magic and the Mouse TV. Welcome in.
Hello, Bill.
Good to see you. All this. Hello, all. Is this Hollywood night or non-sports night? Yeah, well, not. That's exactly right. Carlos says, sorry, had to step away. Saw when Josh got on a ride, he was handed a squirt of sanitizer before getting on. Wouldn't that make more sense if everyone got a squirt before the ride instead of a wipe after? They didn't get a wipe after, at least not today when I was on. They got a squirt before, and then they had hand sanitizer waiting for you when you got off too.
Yep.
So you got one before and one off.
Yep. And they wiped down the ride.
And they wiped it down. So it's like almost, I hate to say this, people are going to get mad at me, but it almost seemed like overkill. I mean, there was.
Yep. I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah. So in most respect, it was really, really, really done well. And there were a ton of not cast members, they call them employees or whatever they call them over there, all over the parks walking around, Steve. Every 5 feet, you'd see somebody walking around. So they were, they were paying attention.
So obviously, okay, and don't get me wrong, they're open, they're making money. But if you're opening on a limited capacity, you're not making as much money as you are working at 100% full capacity.
That's true.
Obviously.
Yep.
But it sounds like, and I heard that Disney was doing this too, is that they're going to employ more people just to police the restriction rules.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're called team members. Okay, gotcha. No, I agree, Steve. And I think that's great too, because then that gives more people job opportunities for whatever it might be. It's another job opportunity for somebody. So I agree with that 100%. To be that person that walks around and gets to yell at people, I would do that.
Well, and you got to remember, they also have to continuously be nice. It's Disney, anyways. Excuse me, could you please put your mask? You know, they got to do it the right way. So, I'm sure there's been special training. I'm sure there's been special everything just to get this ready. So,
yeah. Ray J, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Carlos says, instead of wiping every ride down after every ride, wouldn't the pre-ride squirt be enough? It probably is enough. I don't know if it's enough or not. I mean, you are hand sanitizing just before you get on, but it's good that they're doing it.
What if somebody coughs while they're on the ride?
That's true.
You cough in your hand, you put your hand on the thing. No, it needs to be wiped down after every single ride, in my opinion.
But you still have your mask on the ride.
You do, but are you touching any part of your face while you're doing it? Do you scratch your eyes or your mouth, or you've been coughing into your mask the whole time? Do you touch your mask and adjust it while you're doing it? You know, I think it's necessary for them to wipe down everything, and I really like the hand sanitizer before and after.
Mm-hmm. Tina says, yeah, and the CDC says there's no indication that you're getting to catch the virus from surfaces as long as you wash your hands frequently and wash surfaces you are touching frequently. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So. And they're doing that. From what I saw, they were doing it anyway. That's just me. Brian says, Brian, welcome in, buddy. I don't know if I said hi to you, but welcome in, pal. I think Universal would call their employees cast members as they're the movie theme park. Yeah, you would think, but they don't. Leanne says we should gel in before getting on the ride and gel out when you get off the ride, same as us going back in and out of patients' rooms. I agree 100%, and I think that's what they're doing, Leanne. I really, from what I saw today, now I'm going back tomorrow, so I want to see if they're consistent with it every day. Let's see what else here. We got a few comments in here, Steve. Let's see. Isaac Neal, welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. Andrew says, living close to New York, I don't feel that this is the time for us all to come to Walt Disney World. It hurts us all. You know, I get that, Andrea. I really do. I mean, I guess they're doing everything they can to keep it safe. Wouldn't you agree, Steve? I think they're taking the proper precautions. At some point, I mean, when is it ever really going to ultimately be safe? You know, that's the thing. Yep. So
everybody, sorry, there's a kid back here.
That's okay.
For Meg, there's Kyle. Meg, Kyle, say hi. So, anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think they've done everything they can possibly do the proper way. And again, I think Disney's going to even do better. So, it all starts first with people being responsible themselves. Second is going through temperature checks, and third is making sure you're using hand sanitizer and wiping everything down. Yep. And then lastly, staying your distance from everybody. So you all have your own responsibility to keep each other safe. So it's all you can do. And if we want to be able to experience it and experience fun and the atmosphere, we all got to do our own part to make it happen.
Yep, I see that. Mike Wheeler, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Magic in the Mouse says, did you see that day guests will need a dining reservation to be able to get in to enter the park? I don't know what that's from. No, I didn't see that. I'm not sure what that's about because Disney really has kind of been silent for the last week after they canceled all the reservations and everything. They really haven't posted any updates.
I did hear something on there. So they are going, you will need reservations for Disney. But what they did is they wiped every one of them out so that everybody that has a chance to go has a fair shot to go.
Yeah, clean slate. Yep.
But
Mhm.
so whatever. But they're so basically, and two, if if it holds 100 people, you have 100 reservations at one time. You now have 50 reservations you can take. So who gets to decide who goes and who doesn't? So everybody's
Wipe
wiped
it.
out,
I agree.
and at a set date, they're going to say, okay, we can now book these. So I'm okay with what they're doing there.
Yeah, yeah. And Carlos, that's kind of sad, but Carlos says we went to the outlets up here today. It was 81 degrees out for 1 hour in a mask, and Suzanne said, "Forget Disney trip this year with masks. She just can't do it."
And
And
some
you know
people
what?
can't.
I get it. I totally get, and it. Pardon the expression. It
Well,
sucks. And I'm
yep.
sorry you got to cancel your trip. It
Well, and
does.
one of the things I think it's going to help with, we were all mad about the reservation system at Disney, but I think it's actually going to help people. Is if you get a 4-hour block to be in a park somewhere, and you're not going to be out there all day, that's going to help people from heat exhaustion and everything else, forcing them out of the park. With those masks on, you can't spend. I mean, I'm sure you could spend all day out there with a mask, but it's not going to be fun or easy.
Gotcha. Now I will say this, Steve. For me personally, I don't want a 4-hour block in the parks. I hope they don't do that. I want.
Oh, they're
If
doing it. I don't want to do it, but they're doing it.
you sure it's
They've
going to
already
be
said
4-hour blocks?
I don't. They're going to be blocks. They didn't say how many hours they were going to be.
See, I
I'm
don't.
just guessing. I'm
Yeah, I don't
guessing
like
4
that.
hours.
I don't like that at all. If I'm at that park, if I'm at Magic Kingdom, or if I'm at Hollywood Studios, there's only so much I can do in 4 hours. I don't like
I
that at
agree.
all.
I agree.
I'd rather you tell me I can't go tomorrow, but I've got all of today.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But that's not what they're doing. They are doing reservations and blocks. And but the good part about it is you can. I think from what I read is you can get more than one block at the same park at the same day. So you just have to put in for them, because kind of like when Galaxy's Edge opened up in Disneyland,
Mm-hmm.
you were able to do the same thing. Like I remember Juan Rodriguez got like 8 of them in 2 days or something. So you can go,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know how the application process works, but you can apply for another one, and you can get multiple reservations at the same park. On top of that, with everything reduced and all the people being reduced, a lot of it is going to be like walk-on type things that you're going to be able to do a lot more in 4 hours now than you would on a regular day before all this hit.
I agree with you there. You're right. With the reduced crowds, you're going to be able to do a little bit more. You're going to be able to do more in 4 hours than you normally would on a normal day. I do agree with that. Andy J says, this is why I'm so thankful for people like you guys, so I can enjoy Disney virtually until I feel comfortable going. Well, thank you for that. That was nice. I appreciate that very much. We'll try.
And from everything that I've seen too, that the parks are going to be open for 10 hours at a time. They may even do like 2 5-hour blocks. I was just guessing at 4, but they're open from I think Magic Kingdom's open from 9 to 7, and Animal Kingdom's open from 8 to 6. So 2 5-hour blocks fits in perfect with what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could get both at the same park, or you can get one at one park and one at a different park, that's not as fun when you have to move, but it's at least you get to go.
Yeah, I don't like I don't like that either. I don't think it's fair that I could possibly get 3 blocks, Steve, and then for the same park. And what if you don't get any? I don't.
Trust me, I get it, but I also don't know how that reservation system is going to work yet.
Yeah,
I think you might be able to get like one, and then you have a time period where you got to wait for the same day to get another one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah. Jonathan John, welcome in. And Detroit Disney Duo, another one of our members, welcome in. Good to see you guys. They said, hello, everyone. Can you go more than 4 hours in the heat with a mask? You can. Well, you know what? I'm going to take that back, Steve. I think it depends on the person.
Oh, 100% depends. I could do it all day in a mask.
Yeah.
I do it at work.
We did today all day in a mask.
I could do it. Now, if you, I would suspect people that have some kind of breathing issues, or that don't do well in the heat. Me, I'm perfect in Disney in July and August. It doesn't affect me like it affects other people. So it just depends on each person individually. I agree 100%.
Yeah, it is. Some people aren't going to be able to do it. Heck, I have trouble sometimes breathing the air without a mask in the middle of August out at Disney World. I can only imagine what a mask is going to be like. I think I might struggle for an 8-hour day at Disney with the mask on.
Well, and let's be honest, you know what? That's why they have rest areas too.
That's
So
exactly right.
if you need a break, go take a break.
Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%. Magic now says, Steve and Walt, I just sent you both the link to new guidelines that just came out today to your Instagram. All right, appreciate that. See,
Nice.
I was looking on some sites. I didn't see anything about new guidelines yet, but I'll look for it. Carlos says, right, it depends on the person. I could, Michaela could, Ethan and Suzanne never. Yeah, and that's why you can't have the trip, because guess what? 2 out of the 4 isn't good enough. It's got to be 4 out of the 4. So Tim says, when Kelly Myers is working here, he has one all day long. With my asthma as bad as it is, I know I'll have to have breaks in short periods. Yeah, and that's the thing too, Stephen. I think you agree. You got to know you. You know you.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. You also can't be too. You got to be honest with yourself. Not only know you, but you got to be honest with yourself and say, look, I need a break, and actually, and say, look, again, if you're down there, everybody's like, oh, I'm down here, I'm spending the money, I'm doing this, that, and the other. Well, right now, you're not, because it's all going to be annual pass holders or people that already have paid for everything. So you need to be able to take those breaks if you need them. You need to be able to know when is enough. Schedule your dinners and everything where they need to be, so that take those breaks with your meals. Go inside air conditioning and sit down. And you got to also remember too that a lot of don't ride all the outdoor rides. Go see a show or something, and every once in a while just pull your mask just to tug and breathe a minute, and then set it back down. I mean, it's got to be on all the time, but don't pull it down. Just pull it out, take a couple breaths, and put it back. Yeah. If you're struggling, and I would recommend.
And you'll know too.
Yeah, and I would recommend taking multiple masks too.
Yep, I agree. Sherry Awesome Sunsets Travel, welcome in, Sherry, another one of our members. Good to see you, Sherry. Thanks for being here. And Saria says, don't forget, Walt, you can take them off to drink and eat, and there will be air conditioning in most of the rides and shops. So, Steve, you just said that. That's exactly right. Yep, I agree. Carlos says, that's to me the biggest factor. $5,000 and have Suzanne miserable is not worth it. Agreed 100%. Too much money. You pay too much money to go down there and not have a great time. You're better off rescheduling. I agree 100%. I will say that. Let's see. Saria says, pull the mask below your nose here and there. It gives you air without taking it off. I agree. Just half a second. Boom. Breathe it in.
You can't leave it down, though, because they will ask you to put it back up over your nose. But
they did.
You just got to pull it and just take a quick breath and be good. So
yeah, I agree. And both parks were open. We went from Islands of Adventure. We got on the Hogwarts Express, and we went right over to Universal Studios Florida. With no issues, no problems, 6 feet in between. Everything was great. It was awesome. It felt different, Steve. I will say that. It definitely felt different.
Look, you're going to lose a little bit of the magic, but at the same time, you get to go. If this is going to be your first trip, I would cancel 100%. You don't want to experience this your first time in any kind of restrictions whatsoever. For people like Walt and I that go a lot, we just want to go, and we can deal with the restrictions. But I definitely wouldn't waste that money if this is gonna be your, if first off anybody's gonna be miserable. Second off, if this is your first trip, these aren't going to be the memories you want. You won't go back if you go for your first trip this time.
No, I agree 100%. Welcome in, Angela, Pirate Princess Red. Angela, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. George Will says, Walt, did they give you your own car on the Hogwarts Express? They did. Everybody had their own car. You did not have to share. Saria says, yes, people have to realize that you have to take a break here and there. Passing out is not what you want for anybody. Agreed 100%. I agree. And then Make It Blue, Caitlin says, as a former cast member, I worry about my cast family, and I worked 14-hour shifts in the summer as a CP. And with no international and the college program, with no announcements of changes yet, makes me nervous. Yeah, I think that international and college program will come back. They'll ultimately come back for sure. But there you go.
For sure.
Yep. So overall, I gotta say, Steve, overall, I gotta give Universal a passing grade here. I gotta give them a B plus, almost an A. It's only one day. I'm going back tomorrow. I'll see what it's like again tomorrow. But I gotta give them a B plus. I thought they did a really good job overall. Again, nothing's perfect. I'm very interested to see how Disney's going to do it. I can't wait for that first day. But it was pretty cool. James says, was the annual pass holders lounge open? I don't know. I didn't even go over to it, to be honest with you.
And look, and I think every single thing can be open if it's done right. they can make it work.
Yeah. They'll make it work. Tim says, "Dang, where'd that hour go?" I know it went fast, didn't it? We had great conversation, and
It's already
everybody in
9
the
o'clock.
chat. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9:01. That was great. Thank you all for being here. I'm well, Walt. Good, Angela. Glad to see it. Walt, will you ever live stream from there? From Disney? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, at Universal, I think they're talking about Universal for tomorrow. But the problem is at Universal, you cannot live stream any rides whatsoever. They don't allow filming on. Not even film. They don't allow filming on their rides. So
yeah, you can't do the rides, but you can walk around the park. I mean,
you can walk around the park and do it, but you can't.
That's all you're gonna do.
You would be able to ride the ride. So
yeah.
But it's still, you could. Yeah, you might throw on a live stream tomorrow, Walt.
Yeah, I might. I don't know yet, but we'll see. But it was great. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this conversation. And again, we're past 9 o'clock, so we're running a little bit over. Thank you all for your patience. I know we ran over with Dan's stream, but this has been a great conversation tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. I definitely did. Steve, as usual, buddy, I appreciate you being here, especially on location.
Oh, no, dude. No way I was going to miss it. I just wanted to. I'm just really relaxed right now. This is just the sun's down. I've been out in the sun all day.
Yeah, it's great.
The sun's down, and always love hanging out with you. Always getting to talk, doing our show together. It's just fun. It's fun, and I'm glad you got to go to Universal. I know you moved down there in March, and it's February, March, and finally getting to do something. So congratulations.
I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I got to go work on editing my my video stuff from today. It's a mess. But anyway, what do you got coming up on your channel? What's coming up with Steve's World? I
keep saying I'm going to make vlogs, and I got about 900 of them filmed. Just got to edit them. I decided YouTube runs my life right now, and I'm taking some time. Oh, not time off. Don't get me wrong, but I don't need to post every day, every week, every month. I'm good with that. I'm going to hold on to my live streams and just put out vlogs when I get them. I'm enjoying stuff like this. So
very nice. Yeah, no, I love it too. Absolutely. Thanks, Tina. I appreciate
but I do have a million ideas that I want to do. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, thank you to everybody in the chat for being here. This has been great conversation. You guys in the chat are always very active with the chat, and you have a lot of great opinions, great ideas. You're always wonderful in the chat. And what's most important is you're here with us. You're spending your time with us. You could be somewhere else, but you chose to be here with us tonight. And that's always a big thing for both Steve and I. We're very honored and thankful that you guys spend this hour with us. It means a lot to us for sure.
Yep.
But for us on our channel, again, we just went over 2,100 subs. We've been growing. We got a lot of subs this week. I couldn't believe it. We're coming up on 300,000 views. We got a lot of new stuff coming. Melissa's got her new Exploration Eats vlog series that she's going to be doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. Man versus Park is coming. Another Around Town series is coming. Another video there. We got tons coming. So, and of course, Disanity on Tuesdays, right here with Steve on Saturdays. And my new show with Disney Dan. I have a collaboration with this guy right here. I didn't have a collaboration with my other partner channel, Dan, and we're finally going to do Sundays at 6. We're going to do, it's called Disney Movie Reviews. We're probably going to come up with a different name. And we're going to pick, kind of like I do with the Daily Disney Discussion, we're going to pick out a movie out of a hat every week, and the next week we're going to discuss that movie. So next Sunday, 6 o'clock, we're going to discuss Mighty Ducks. That's what he picked out. He picked out the Mighty Ducks. So we're going to have a conversation on the Mighty Ducks next Sunday, 6 p.m.
Nice.
And we're going to have special guests on every week. So, Steve, you're going to be one of them one of these weeks.
Hopefully it's on something I like.
Exactly, for sure. But, guys, let's see. Laura Jean Carlson, welcome and good to see you. No date yet on Disneyland as the one that's going to open. And Preston McDevitt late, but he's still here. Good to see you guys. But, guys, thank you for being here. We definitely appreciate it. Head on over to Shep Family at 9:30. Shep will be going live tonight, right, Steve? I think he's going live, right? Yep. So Shep's live at 9:30. Be sure to check him out. And until then, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you to all my members again. Thank you, Steve, to you, buddy.
Thank you.
As usual, buddy. I missed you last week. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you for always being there, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And everybody in the chat, have a great night. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.